Hey guys, and welcome to the first episode of How to Watch Competitive PUBG. In this video we'll be going over the differences between your regular casual game and the settings used in competitive games, so what you'll see on your screens as compared to what you get to experience when you play a normal game of PUBG. The first thing you'll notice is the amount of players on the server. In casual PUBG it's 100 players per server, meaning 25 squads, and we've all seen how chaotic that can get sometimes with teams landing on top of one another. It was tested in the beginning, it went down to 20 teams for a while, being 80 players, and now we're down to the sweet spot at 16 teams equaling 64 players. Now if we take a look at the game settings, we'll divide them up into casual settings and the super settings. Super standing for Standard Universal PUBG Esports Rule Set, which I'll post a link to down in the description below. Now if we look at a comparison between the casual and the super circle settings, this right off the bat is just going to be a ton of numbers and most likely you won't understand half of what's going on, but I want to keep it simple, so I want to bring up the two most important variables, which are the weight and the move counters. Weight meaning how long time goes from one circle being shown till the blue actually moving, and move meaning how long time it takes for the blue circle to go from where it was when the new circle was shown to being closed fully and showing the circle to come. If we start out by looking at the wait timers, it's clear to see that the numbers are a lot higher on the casual settings than on the super settings, meaning that the time where everything stands still, you'll see the new circle but the blue won't start moving yet, is a lot higher for the casual player than they are on the super settings. This gives you more time to figure out what you want to do, but once the circle starts moving, it's a whole other story. Look at the move timers. Other than the first two phases, the numbers are a lot higher, meaning that the speed of which the blue zone itself moves is a lot slower. This makes it easier to make those last minute rotations, and it also means that especially for in the late game, that you, if you keep on moving, will most likely not get caught by the blue, unless of course if you're proning snake, but then you most likely deserved it. Now if we go back, you can see that the damage per second, the DPS on top on the super settings, is quite a bit higher than it is on the casual settings. And this is one of those things where, you know what, we give you the slow moving circles, but that also means that if you do get caught in them, they're gonna start chunking your health quite a bit faster. Now the last thing I want you guys to take a look at here at the circle settings are the land ratio. We won't go too much in depth with it today, it's going to be for a video to come, but as you can see, the super setting have the land ratio on 1 on both circle 4, phase 4 that is, and phase number 8. And that makes quite a big of a difference when water comes into play, but that's for a video to come. That was the circle settings done. And now of course there's a whole lot more to the game settings themselves. In casual games you have red zones, you have flare guns. Both of these two features are not included in the super settings as they're considered not competitive. Now when it comes to the map pool in PUBG itself, we've all been blessed with the newly added Erangel. It's a great map to play. If you haven't gotten to play it yet, I strongly advise you to go in and play some games on it. That is not included in the super settings alongside Vikendi. So Vikendi and the new Erangel will not be featured in at least this phase of competitive PUBG. Last thing on the list here to start things off in episode 1 is the vehicles. In casual PUBG, the vehicles are randomly spawning. Doesn't mean they can spawn anywhere, there are still designated spots for the vehicles to drop in, but you never know whether there's actually a vehicle on the spot or not. And we've all been there, running for ages into the blue, not finding a vehicle and eventually having to admit defeat. But when it comes to the competitive side of PUBG, there are so-called vehicle hard spawns. And I'll put up a picture now. You've probably seen the vehicle already before. With the flaming Dasha, you got the camouflage US in the mix there as well. And everybody knows approximately where these vehicles are. You got the hard spawn boats, you got the hard spawn cars. Only difference being that the normal random hard spawns for cars, they are still there on top of all the hard spawns. But for boats, you only have the designated hard spawn boats on competitive servers. No random spawns, you see them right here on your photos. That's where they are, they're nowhere else to be found. So this is a list of some of the mention-worthy differences there are in casual and competitive PUBG. Of course, you got the whole weapon loadout as well. There's a lot more weapons spawning in general in competitive play than there are in casual play. That's for the next video. But overall, this is it for video number 1. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. See you next time. Oh, and by the way, we're also playing Sanhok now.